Let's see what I can do here. What? Hey. All right. Let's see. Let me get all tuned in and stuff because I'm about to tell you guys a story. Let's see. Whoop, it's gonna fall. Yep, that might work. All right, let me see. Stop that. Let's see. Hi, Teresa. Okay, let's see. So I have the story to tell. I haven't been on in a while. Okay, let me back up. It's been that long. Um, Welcome back to my channel. It's an Amber thing. I am Amber. And I gotta turn this down because it's gonna drive me insane. Let's see. Okay, first I gotta ask, can you hear me okay? I'm gonna assume you can hear me okay. If you guys can't hear me, just let me know. I also have you here so that I can take a look at what's going on in the live feed. But it's been a long time. I feel like I'm always saying that. I feel like every time I get on, I'm like, I miss you guys so much. It's been a long time. I haven't been on. XYZ is going on in my life, and that's what it is. But I just have really honestly, well, I've been really busy for one. My kids are back in school, which I thought would free up some time, but didn't really free up some time because now they're in sports, and I'm like busting my butt working on, a business that I have, and then my real estate business. So I just feel like I've been running around like a chicken with her head cut off. But the other part of it too is a little bit, I'm kind of starting to grow past talking so much about the Jehovah's Witness stuff. I kind of feel like a lot of, I don't know, it has been a while because I feel all nervous talking to you guys right now. What the hell? I feel like there's a lot of healing that has taken place through being able to talk to you all about my experiences. But also there's still a lot to be said, but I think I'm just not ready to say it all yet. There's a lot of experiences that I had when I was a child that I've really been contemplating, like, is this something that if I share it, who else am I going to affect? And I probably shouldn't be thinking like that because it's a healing process for me. But I also, my family's involved, my mom, my stepdad, my brother, my sister. And I don't ever want to, like, I don't know, I, I don't want to say bad things, that are going to affect them, or that if they ever were to see, these videos, that would hurt them in any way. So that's something that I like, kind of have in the back of my mind. And so, like, one part of me is like, just share it because you need to heal some of these things from your childhood. And the other part's like, but if you share that, you could hurt others. And so I just really kind of like go back and forth on all of that. But there's so many other things that I could talk about that that happen on a daily basis. Like, I could just totally be like, hey, you're my best friend and I'm going to tell you everything. But today I was just going to talk about something other than the Jehovah's Witness stuff. And it's about being ghosted. Has anybody ever been ghosted before? I wish I didn't have to raise my hand on this, but it happened to me and I was like, what? That's a real thing? Okay, yeah, it's a real thing. It really happens. So let me just jump on and see who is here. Oh, good. Okay. So I'm just going to give you all the deets on the deal. Okay. So let's take it back a little bit. I was sitting here in my bathroom, is like get ready to go and do business. But just kind of wanted to say hi to everybody. I really do miss you all. So let's see. It's been 3 years last month that my kid's father passed away. And So I've actually kind of been a little bit thinking about dating. And I don't know that I'm like fully there, that I'm fully ready for that, but I thought, hey, let me give it a shot. And there is a guy that had been asking me out, like, I want to say like a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now. And I was always like, no, 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 I don't want to do this right now. Like, I really need to be ready. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I felt like after that relationship, and I'm going to be talking a lot more about that relationship because there's so many things I think that are very vital for others who have been in the same type of situation, you know, dealing with drug addiction and things like that, even though you're not actually the one, but being the kind of like the codependent of a drug addict. There's lots of healing that needs to happen there, and I feel like there's so much that could be shared that could be beneficial to others. So I am going to start a series on that. But you know, after almost 9 years of um, being a codependent to a drug addict, I lost myself. You know, I lost myself in my everyday, you know, what does Amber need? What does Amber want? Who is Amber, you know, anymore at all? I had all of my attention and my focus was towards trying to heal somebody else. And, you know, at the end of it all, it didn't fare well. And so there was just a lot of repair that I needed to do with me. I needed to figure out, who is Amber? What does Amber love? What does Amber like? Who, you know, just get back to me. So I was like, no, no, no on the dating thing. And then finally, I accepted. I accepted a date. And I'm going to tell you about this date. It was very interesting, to say the least. And then what happened afterwards was very interesting. And I'm going to let you guys know how I felt about it and how it kind of affected me in the end, because being ghosted, let me just tell you, is no joke. So anywho, I go on this date. You know, I'm super nervous because I haven't, you know, been out with anybody since Brandon passed, and I just had all of these things in my head. I overthink everything. So, you know, I'm already thinking like, you know, if we end up together, I wonder how he's going to treat my children. And I wonder if the children will like him. And what if, you know, just all of these crazy things on my very first date. So, so to say the least, I was pretty nervous about it. But went, had a great time, had a couple of friends that met up with us like after dinner at a bar. And we just hung out, and like we really had an amazing time the entire date until the very end. So let me back up just a little bit, because both of these men were at one point friends of Brandon's, who is my kid's father. And one of them was his best friend, and the other one was just, you know, a friend. So the one that I went on a date with was, you know, a friend, somebody that he knew. The other one was his best friend, or one of his best friends, I guess. But he ended up going on a double date with a friend of mine. So they were, you know, we were all kind of there together, had a great time, have pictures. We just had a blast. Little did I know that the best friend, we'll just call him D. The best friend is D. I guess he had like some secret crush or something on me. And he had kind of divulged this information a year prior. And I kind of just, you know, I told him, like, when he told me, you know, like, I like you, I would like to date you or whatever, I had a total breakdown. I mean, like, right then and there, you know, he said that and I broke down in tears, and I was just like, I can't handle this. Stay away from me. I don't want to have anything to do with this. You were Brandon's best friend. I will never do that. That's never going to happen. Drop it out of your mind. We're done. And you know, we were at a party when this happened, and I ended up Ubering home and just being like done. So it really had been like quite a few months since I had even spoken with D. So I was kind of like trying to in a very nice way, be like, I'm not interested in you, by setting him up with a friend of mine to double date. So we go to dinner, and the date was B, so we'll just call him B and D. um, we had a great time. We ended up meeting up with D and my friend at the bar, had a great time. Ended up going to a second bar, that was in the same area, just walked over, and um, had a great time. I mean, everything was good. We were all talking, and I'm getting a phone call on Facebook. That's always weird when somebody calls on Facebook. I just, no. Sorry, I don't answer Facebook calls. Anywho, before I look down at this live feed, because I see people talking, I got to get through some of this story. But okay, so it's like getting close to 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's probably about time that we're going to start wrapping up, going all of our separate ways. And D comes out of the bar, like he had gone in to get a drink. We're all sitting on the patio. D and his date, B and myself, and we were just chit-chatting on the patio of this bar. And D had gone in to get a drink, and he came back out, and he finished his drink, and he comes over and like starts to tell me something, like in my ear. And then he grabs onto my wrist and he pulls me out of the patio area. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, what? And I mean, I've been drinking, and he'd been drinking, everybody'd been drinking. And he, had grabbed me by the wrist and starts to like walk me very fast down the back pathway of this bar. And it was awkward. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, wait, what? Like, first he's telling me something, and then he's, grabbing me by the wrist and like starting to walk down the street. And he leans over to me and says, B wanted me to take you home because he wanted to go home with your friend. And I was like, what? And, it was like, wait, what? Because we were all having like such a good time. I was like kind of in disbelief, like, oh, okay, whatever. So before I could like react really to this situation, he has me by the wrist, and he's walking me very fast. I'm in heels, and I'm like trying to keep up. He has me by the wrist, and he's walking faster and faster until he gets kind of like for him, a jog, and for me, a run, in heels. And I'm like kind of trying to like, get my wrist out of his hand. I'm like pulling back, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to eat shit right now if I, if I don't keep running, if I try and stop. Like, the situation wasn't good. So and we're in Old Town, area where I live. So there's like a lot of little bars all around. So we're like, he's like pulling me down the street, and I'm like, trying to keep up. And we finally get to an area down the street where there's some police officers, because, there's a bunch of bars. And so, once it gets to be that time of night, they're looking for giving their next ticket or taking their DUI in or whatever it is, protecting people. And so he drops my wrist, and I'm able to finally stop. And I'm like standing there, and two girls come up to me, and they're like, excuse me, miss, are you okay? And I'm like kind of stunned, just like still trying to take it all in. It all kind of just like happened so fast. And I'm still trying to digest the fact that supposedly my date, who had been waiting to go out with me for like a year or more, had just said, oh, well, take her home. I want to go home with her friend. And so I'm like, trying to like take it all in. And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. The police come over, and they're asking me like, are you okay? Do you need help? What's going on? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, leave me alone, kind of stuff. And I get on the phone, and I call B. He answers, and I was like, fuck you. And, I'm drunk at the time. I'm not thinking like, maybe I should ask him what happened or what's going on. I'm just basically like, F you, because you're trying to take my friend home, and we were supposed to be on a date. Like, you could have at least waited, until next time or whatever. So he gets upset with me. Anyways, I have these two girls that are still standing with me, and they're like, I didn't drive. I came with the date. So I literally was standing on the side of the street with no ride. And I don't drink very often, so I'm never really out like where I'm stranded or I need Uber or Lyft or any of those things. So I don't have any of those apps on my phone. So somebody comes up to me and asks me, like, do you want an Uber? And I was like, sure. He's like, go ahead and put your address in and I'll pay for it. Just, put your address in. In any event, for some reason or another, it wasn't working out. There was like no cars available. Maybe it was the time. I don't remember. So these two girls are like, they come over and they're talking to me and they're saying, we followed you from that bar over there. You kind of looked like you were being abducted. Like somebody just literally pulled you out. And when we saw him, the way that he had grabbed onto you and like kind of, like was forcing you to walk down the street, we just felt concerned. So we followed you all the way from that bar over there. And I was like, okay. And they're like, do you need a ride? So, I ended up getting a ride with them. They ended up taking me home, the two girls. And, they were just like, we were really worried for you. We didn't realize, like what was really going on here. And I'm like, I don't even feel like I realized what was really going on here. So I ended up going home and going to bed and everything was fine. I talked to my friend the next day. She was all good. She was fine. I blocked D from being able to talk to me because I was like, that was completely uncalled for. I'm not doing that again. So I'm just gonna, I don't need to have friends like that. So I guess it came out that he had ended up telling my friend or somebody, I can't remember at this point, but that he liked me and that he had wanted to take me home. And so he made up this, BS story so that he could do that. So it was just all bad, right? Anyways, we get through this night and I end up talking to my date the next day, which was B. And I was like, sorry if I was rude. Like, I totally don't understand what happened. Like, there's a lot of stuff that went down, like, at the last few moments of the night. And I'm just, like, in this place where I just I don't get it, none of it, whatever. And he's like, I would never do that to you. Like, that was not the case. I don't know why he would say that, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay. He's like, I really like you, Amber. I really want to be able to take you out again. Can we go out again? Will you give me another chance? And we just won't have anybody else involved. And I was like, okay, that sounds fair. So we were like planning to go out on a second date. And that evening he ends up calling me and he's like, my daughter called and she, wants to hang out tomorrow. So can we reschedule? And I was like, absolutely. I'm never going to ever be like, hello, you made plans with me first. So absolutely. Right. And then I never hear from him again. And at first I'm not really the kind of person that was going to like reach out and talk to I don't know. I'm not like aggressive when it comes to dating, I guess I should say. So I'm very just like kind of like laid back. If you call me, you call me. If you don't, you don't. And then kind of, whatever. So I, didn't call him and he didn't call me. And then I kind of forgot about it for a while. And then one day I was like, wait, B never called me back. I wonder what's going on. So I'd like text him, no response. And then I was like, well, I wonder what happened. He's like not responding and all this, he like, first of all, I waited like over a year to go on a date with me. And then, we have this debacle that happens and it's neither one of our faults. It was somebody else completely. And we got that all cleared up. So I'm like, okay, it couldn't be that because, we got that cleared up. And then, so I'm just like kind of left like, what happened? And I really didn't kind of expect to be like bothered by it or because I'm just really not like that. But I was. I was super bothered by it. I was like, wait, what the hell happened? Like literally just fell off. Never heard from him again. So I call him and I'm like, leaving a message. And I was like, hey, like what's going on? What happened? Like, we were supposed to go on a date, blah, 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 whatever. You didn't call me. You're not responding. Did I do something? Still no response. It's been 6 months, at least 6 months. And he will not respond to a text message. I mean, I didn't text him a whole lot, maybe twice. and didn't get any responses, and called him one time and didn't get a response. But then I noticed, so I'm left with this, what happened? Is it me? Did I do something? I mean, what could I have possibly done? Am I a horrible person? Did my breast, you know, I mean, I don't know, like, what's going on, right? So 6 months later, oh, no, let me back up a little bit. So he was friends with B, my date. He was friends with me on both Facebook and Instagram. And I think he's probably subscribed to my YouTube channel. Hi. So I noticed that, he won't return a text. He won't answer a phone call, but I post something and he'll like it. And I'm like, okay, what? And then on Instagram, like, I'll post something and he'll comment on it, but he won't respond to my text and he won't return a call. So I'm like, this is really weird. What the hell is going on? So I inbox him and I'm like, it's really weird that you won't return a text or return a call, but you want to comment on my posts. Like, it's just weird. Don't do it. So I unfollow him from everything. On Instagram, I think that you can unfollow somebody, but you can't make somebody unfollow you. And if you can, please let me know how, because I don't know how, because then I can finally get him off my Instagram. But I unfollowed him, but he still follows me. And I asked him, I was like, there's no reason for this. Like, you can just unfollow me. It'd be totally cool. And he hasn't done that. So then I get, what was it, a week ago? I get a request on Facebook for us to be friends again. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. Is it weird? Is it just me? To me, it's weird. Like, if you can't call somebody back and you can't text somebody that you went on a date with, that you were saying, I really, really like you, then, I mean, it's just weird. So I inbox him, and I text him, and I'm like, it's really funny to me that you won't respond to my text message, but you want to be my friend on social media. Like, there's just no need. Like, please stop. So I finally, and I'm going to read this to you guys. He finally, after 6 months or so, whatever, responds. Let's see. He says, I feel that I owe you an apology. I should never have ghosted you. Not cool, I know. It's hard for me to say when something bothers me, and that's something I'm working on. I just felt that things went wrong the first night we hung out and wish things didn't make a turn in the direction that it did. Anyways, for whatever it's worth, I'm sorry for being an asshole, and you don't even have to respond to this message. I totally understand. So I contemplated not responding, but then again, I didn't want to be an asshole myself. I don't know, I'm not like that. And besides, I like to have the last word. So that's an admission. So I said, you should have taken that up with D, with your homie D. He orchestrated the whole scenario and was laughing about it. It was super messed up to leave me feeling like something was wrong with me. It really fucked me up, which it did, because I was sitting there for a long time being like, okay, this is shitty. Like, who wants to be ghosted, right? Like, who wants to feel like something's wrong with them, or like they did something when they really had done nothing? So I said, okay, it was super messed up to leave me feeling like something was wrong with me. It really fucked me up. I've been through enough. I really like you. I really liked you. Really, but it's all good. You do you. I just don't want to be a part of that. So I haven't heard from him again. But I didn't even realize, like, that ghosting was a real thing. Like, I don't know. Okay, let me see who's... Serpent Dawn. Hi, sweetie. How are you? Let's see. Hey, Raphael. Oh, and then I got somebody telling me that I'm a Dumbo bitch. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. It's so appreciated. Cerebral cortex. Somebody ghosted me. Yes. So I don't know. Has anybody been ghosted? I'm curious about these stories. I was like, I actually got on Facebook and I was talking to one of our mutual friends, really cool guy. His name's Brendel. And I was like, dude, okay, so tell me why B is requesting to be my friend when he ghosted me. Like, I don't get that. Doesn't even make sense at all. And he's like, but he really liked you. And I'm like, that's really weird. That's like a funny way to show that you really like somebody. But I'm curious. Oh, that was what I was going to say. I was going to tell him. I told him, I was like, just you wait. I'm going to freaking call MTV and I'm going to get on the show Ghosted and I'm going to bring B to the show to find out what really happened. And then the next day is when I got that message on Instagram from him. So he's probably thinking, oh shit, I don't want to be on freaking MTV's Ghosted. I better just fess up and say sorry to this bitch before she freaking gets me on MTV or something. I don't know. It was funny. But I am interested in these stories. So if you guys have a ghosting story, I would love to hear it. East Truth says, yes, this is common, unfortunately. I've heard this from several women. This dating game is just game. It is. Like, okay, I went on one date, one in 3 years. And it was such a horrifying experience. At this point, I'm just like, I'm good. I could be alone. I have my little dudes. I could snuggle with them in the winter. We're all good. I don't need anybody to break my little heart anymore. And I wasn't completely heartbroken. I was a little bit sad because I really did, like, we hit it off. I felt like we hit it off like that first date, and it just goes to show we don't always completely feel the same way about the date, even though we're both on the same date. I thought that things had gone really well up until that last point, and that wasn't any fault of mine. I kind of got dragged out of a bar. I mean, to the point where people were following me just to make sure I was safe. So, yeah, not fun at all. I was like, I'm being shunned again? And it was like really like, I don't like this feeling. I don't like this feeling at all. Let's see. Oh, I see messages coming up on this one, but not here. All right, well, since I have you here, tell me, what do you think? I mean, I do have a lot of other things to talk about besides Jehovah's Witness stuff, but there is still some Jehovah's Witness stuff that needs to be healed. It's just that it involves other people, and I just don't know how. Like, I just hate hurting other people. Like, that's my as an empath, like, being able to feel other people's energy as it is, I feel so much of what goes on with other people that I'm like, I don't want to hurt those people that I love, you know, the people that I call my family. Let me see what you guys are saying. You can? Show me how. She said, Serpent Dawn says, yes, you can make them unfollow you. There are dots next to the following button that gives you the options to, oh, definitely going to do that. Yes, for Instagram. Oh, definitely going to do that. So, and then the other part of like the Jehovah's Witness stuff that I still have, like, you know, in here that I haven't shared is a lot of, I feel like, really very negative things, you know? I mean, I say that, and I guess like most everything that I experienced within this organization was really pretty negative. So it's like, you know, how do you differentiate what's too negative when it's all negative? But, you know, I'm just going to give like a synopsis of some things, and I'm really going to think seriously about, you know, whether or not I share these things and how to share them. But I did share a little bit of one of the stories on Marvin's channel, MKT, about my brother being physically abused, where my stepfather had given him a black eye and a fat lip at the age of 5 years old. My cousin was molested by her father. There's, a lot of things that have happened with me in those types of, in that same type of situation. Like I'm saying, with my cousin, there's a lot of things that have been like really coming back to the forefronts of my mind since I have, been talking a lot more about this. It's funny, the things that your mind will protect you from until you physically start trying to heal those things, and then they all start to kind of come forward. And I mean, there's those kinds of things, and I just, I'm really, my sister, I love my sister. I love my family, no matter what. But there's just a lot of things like I don't really understand. Like, she is a devout JW, and she's a beautiful person, really, honestly. Like, she's very kind, loving, and I just don't understand really like the difference in the organization where she lives in the Bay Area. I mean, she's sleeved with tattoos from here to here, and works in the cosmetic surgery or cosmetic beauty industry, which I mean, I don't think is a bad thing, but for the organization, I feel like it's really odd. Being that, they really kind of like preach against a lot of that stuff. So I don't really understand like a lot of the differences there in the Bay Area versus like other areas. The organization doesn't allow those kinds of things. So I trip out on some of that stuff. The drinking that takes place, I really trip out on a lot of that. Like, me as a very, spiritually in tuned person, I don't drink very often at all, like probably twice in the past year, and really not to the point where, like I'm wasted, or okay, maybe once. Out of the 2 times, once I was drunk, and that was that night the debacle happened. And that's one of the reasons why I don't. And also just because I feel like it's not good for my body. And I feel like as a spiritual person, if my body is a temple, I need to keep it clean. So I really, abstain from, and really it's really like not even, it's just kind of, my life has kind of moved in that direction, not like I consciously am like, I'm not going to drink because my body's a temple and, I need to keep it so clean, or, it's just kind of like things moved in that direction to where I'm not in situations where I'm drinking, or I'm not around people that drink a lot, or, those kinds of things, which is very, I don't know, for me, I feel like as a disfellowship Jehovah's Witness, I feel like I live a lot cleaner life than most of the witnesses themselves, who I can say for sure, in my family at least, my stepfather was an alcoholic, my brother's an alcoholic. I truly believe that my sister is headed down that path. I mean, every time I ever see anything from her, well, maybe not as much anymore, but I used to see a lot of like her posts and things in social media, and I guess that doesn't really tell a whole story, but a lot of drinking, a lot of drinking. So a lot of things that I don't really fully understand. So let's see what's going on here. Looks like there's a whole lot going on. Hi, Lewis. I am extremely sensitive to negative places and vibes. Me too. You should, like, that time that I was in that bar, like I literally felt like negative, like a bunch of negative energy all around me, and it was really kind of hardcore. I'm very affected by those types of places and things. Aw, thank you, cerebral cortex. I shouldn't be alone. I know, especially it's coming up on winter time, and I'm like, snuggle buddy, but I don't know. I know that, like, and this will be a lot of the stuff like that I'm talking about in this series about codependence. that I will be starting soon is just kind of a lot of the trauma that I've been through, and almost like me at this point, like not even being very open to having someone new in my life because, and I know, I mean, nobody deserves to be alone. Nobody should. I like we thrive as humans on, being together or, being around other humans. So I just feel nervous because of the things that I've been through. I've just been through so much. It's like, do I really want to subject myself to having to, cohabitate with somebody that maybe drives me nuts? I mean, I don't know. I guess and I have like kind of a negative outlook on relationships at this point just because of everything that I went through with the past, 9 years, and then how it all ended was just, completely devastating. So, but you're right. People don't deserve to be alone. Yeah. Serpent Dawn, how is everything, Mrs. Married Woman? Oh, Jenna, I wanted to say congratulations to you on your nuptials. Model Jenna just got married not too long ago. I want to say like within the past couple of weeks, and she looked absolutely gorgeous in all of her pictures. And I just wanted to give you a congratulations. I'm so, so happy for you. Let's see. The catacombs. I'm gonna have to look that up, Lewis. I wonder, I don't know what happened there. So, but I can't imagine it would be good if you felt all the pain and negative vibes. Let's see. Yes, Serpent Dawn, I agree. So she says, you own all of your stories. Don't worry about talking about stuff that's important to you. Have these people, you are afraid of talking about thinking about you or your feelings. Yeah, so that is, I mean, a lot of times, like, and maybe I don't know, maybe I'll just pick up the camera and start talking. I have like all of these things that come to me like in the evening time, like after I've simmered down from my day and the kids are in bed, and, like my creative mind is just flowing. So I have like all of these things that I want to say. And then I always tell myself, well, maybe I'll just do a video tomorrow and I'll talk about, this, and that. And then the next day comes and I totally forget about whatever it was that I was going to say, or, it just doesn't sound like as good of a story the next day. I don't know. But I have lots of stuff. I mean, 47 years of life. So I've got lots of stories. They don't all have to be about JW stuff, right? So I'm really feeling like my next series is going to be on the codependence and a lot of the things that I went through within my relationship with Brandon. And I just, I don't want to shine a negative light on him whatsoever, but it's the situations that I feel like people can benefit from knowing, maybe how I handled them, or maybe I can relieve myself of some guilt. And I don't know why I feel guilt about his passing, but I do sometimes. I feel like, I don't know, I guess that maybe they say it's like survivor's guilt or something like that, where I just often think about the things that we went through and wish that I had sometimes handled some of these things differently. Like at the time, I felt like I was doing the best thing. And then retrospect, I'm like, well, I wish I would have, talked to him like this, or I wish I would have used this tone instead of that tone, or, not that probably anything that I could have done, would have done, should have done, could have changed the outcome of what happened. But I guess sometimes in your mind you feel that way. So I think I'm going to be talking about some of that. And I'm just going to take it one day at a time, because every time I make a promise to make videos or to speak on a certain topic, it just doesn't work out. And then I have all this guilt because I feel like I let you guys down. In any event, I think I'm going to end this video for today, unless you guys have something for me. I'm going to take a little look-see. Yes, they are. Serpent Dawn. They're called spirits for a reason. That is very true. Let me see. I just fogged up my own glasses, so. Did I attend a gospel mainstream or Christian mainstream church? I really felt so positive in that building. Oh, you did. Okay. I did too for a little while. I attended a Baptist church, and I felt like it was, you know, at the time I felt like it was positive, but I wasn't as far along like on my spiritual path as I am right now. And at this point, I don't really feel like I have a personal need for any kind of like organized religion. But if it is a positive place for you, by all means, go to that place. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. I wonder if this person, Abadi, that is calling me a horrible name, I wonder if she's a witness. It wouldn't surprise me a bit if she was. All right, you all have a wonderful, beautiful, beautiful day. I thank you so much for joining me on my story of how I was ghosted. If you have any ghosted stories, please leave them below. I would love to read them aloud in my next video. And I'd also like to know I'm not alone, because right now I feel like, gee whiz. I mean, there's a whole show about it, so obviously I'm not alone, but it felt pretty shitty. If in the future you feel that you don't want to be with somebody or you don't want to take somebody on a date, just let them know. It's that simple. It doesn't matter how they respond or how they feel about it, as long as you're honest. I feel like honesty is the best policy, so let's just use that. All right, you guys. Oh, Liz saying that I don't need any religion. It was just, I was walking by the street listening to the music and stepped in. Nice to see you again. Oh, nice to hear from you. Wait. No, you just retracted that message. Now I can't say it out loud. Serpent Dawn. Why? Put it back. I wanted to say that out loud and ask you about it. All right, well, you can text me about that. I'll talk to you all soon. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. If you like this video or are interested in my series on codependence, please subscribe, share with somebody who can benefit. And thanks again. Oh, wait. So Serpent Dawn says, I asked my husband if we could be in an open relationship. I was happy he agreed. What does that mean exactly? I'm going to just wait. Open as in open how? Okay, I can see it come up there. But wait, what? He can have whoever he wants. So like have a sexual relationship outside of your marriage. Wow, that's interesting. So you both are enjoying the freedom of an open relationship now as we speak? Okay, I want to talk to you more about this. If that is your relationship and you are both happy with it, then that's more power to you. Whatever works for you and makes your relationship the best it can possibly be. That's interesting though. So I will probably be texting you about this later because I am curious. But for the last time, I gotta go. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.